All right, good morning. Live a little bit early today because I am trying to do the whole 3-screen setup again so that I can change displays a lot easier. I just want to see if it crashes the stream. If it does, then we've got a bit of a problem, but there's nothing I can do about it. So we will just hope that it works. Now the market is in a very interesting place. Very interesting place indeed. So yesterday we made a little bit of money on the way up. Right, well, I'm back. So that doesn't work. Unfortunately, that just does not work. So we'll just be having to do a 2-screen setup, which means it'll be a little bit clunky again, changing screens. I think what I'm going to try and do today is whenever it looks like there might be a setup forming, I'm just going to switch to the FTMO page so that when I do enter a trade, you can see it. It does mean you won't be able to see all the key levels and everything that I've got marked out because I only do that on TradingView, but that'll be all right. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, so the market sold off right back to where we opened, and I made a trade down here, a winning trade. It was about, I traded the same on the real account, and that was about it was about a 1-to-1 trade, just around here, because this was the value area low, so I just traded the value area low, which is a great trade, and that was a trade that I was talking about yesterday, right off the open, that if we get today, I will be taking it. So I didn't trade that on the actual challenge account because my current rules say that I don't trade after 10 a.m. And I wasn't live, so I thought I didn't want to break the rules. But it was a good trade, so that was confidence building. And then the market rallied in the US session to new highs, and now we're sat this morning about 50 points off all-time highs, but that was just about 45 minutes ago. And the market is now sat, interestingly, just above yesterday's value area high, which is where the buying opportunity was yesterday. So if we move higher off the open, if we test this value area, I will be looking for an early trade, but it needs to meet the same criteria as yesterday. We're sat currently right at the value area low of the Asian session, about 15 points above the value area high of yesterday's session. So you could call that confluence, meaning there's agreement between multiple information sources, if you like. So if you wanted to be aggressive, we could be long here, but I want to see. I don't want to really ever, or at least for now, I don't want to make any trades before the European markets actually open, because you can get some sudden and violent moves that can stop you out. But what would be great is if we see some sort of test of yesterday's close or yesterday's value area high, and then strong follow through. If we go back to yesterday, I can show you exactly what that looked like. And this is what we're looking for. And if it doesn't look like this, then we're not going to take the trade. So you have to deal with all the green mess. But so in here, we opened on this candle. We moved above what was the overnight range yesterday. We sold back down here. And then these consolidation candles, this was right at the value area high of the previous session. And then on this candle here, this green candle closing above that little range, that's where you could have gone long. Initial profit target at the prior high here, you could have maybe closed half and then let it run further. So if we get something like this today, where we get some sort of sell-off off the open, consolidation at a key level, and then an up move, that's where we'll be trading. But if it doesn't look almost a carbon copy of that, then we will be staying away. Now, it's also possible that we've already just seen it here and we've missed it, but I don't take trades before the European markets open, because I did that last year, earlier in the year, and more often than not, it was not. All right, I'll be back in a moment. We'll see what we can do. Something else to mention from yesterday is the effect that the increased spread with this different broker had on our trading, because the second trade that I made, even though I said it was break even and my stop loss was at break even, I actually ended up losing 2.5 points due to slippage, which was, 2.5 points is about £70. So we lost about £70, which is only 0.1% of the account. But losing that through slippage when you've placed a stop loss at break even is quite frustrating. It's quite frustrating. So from now on, when we put stop loss to break even, it will actually be a couple of points in profit, so that if we do get slipped, we're not actually going to lose money. So here we go. Markets sold down a little bit off the open. Let's see what happens. We want to be patient. We don't want to be overly excited. We want to see that very, very clear price action that we saw yesterday. So we're into this value area high of yesterday. Okay, I'm into a long position. Stop loss to break even. I apologize. This is all happening too fast to change screens, but we'll go through it afterwards. Okay, I've stopped myself out for a small profit of about £50. I entered around here. I'd like to see a retest of this level and then enter another long position. It's trying to time it. But I'd like to see another move down here. I think I might just change screens now while I've got a second. Right, here we go. Okay. So this down here is the value area low. What I'd like to see is one more test of this area. Now, you know, there's no rush today. If we can't find an ideal entry off of this level, then we just wait for the market to move higher and give us a different setup, or it moves lower. So this is by no means, there's no reason to rush anything here. It's just if we do get another dip, it could be a really good opportunity. Okay, market selling down a little bit here. we are sat right in the middle of the overnight range here, which is slightly precarious place to be. And does warrant a little bit of caution. We are also super duper early into the market. So market selling back down towards the value area low of the Asian session, which is also very close to the value area high of yesterday's session. And you can see very clearly how this is acting as a key level. This entire region. We've got a prior bar low on the 5-minute chart, which again you can't see, but buyers did try to come in there, as you can see by the wick of this candle, and now the wick of this candle. So buyers tried to come in on that previous candle and they've just been completely taken out. There's certainly some effort to prevent the market falling lower. Currently, those efforts aren't working very well. So we're now making a double bottom here. And we'll see if we make new lows. Yesterday, the market closed at 24,868, which is right here. Oh, we've just touched it. That's the first 15-minute candle. It's just closed, and it's closed strong red right at the lows. Not the sort of candle that encourages aggressive buying, although there has been a reaction here at yesterday's close. So right now the market is just telling me to stay away for now. What we want to see, if the market can come back up here and hold in that value area high of yesterday's session, is still a relevant level. Let me just switch back over screens so you can see some of this stuff I'm talking about. So the market has now rejected this value area high of yesterday, and we're moving back into yesterday's range. It's interesting, the market at 7 a.m. was just 50 points off of 25,000, which would be a significant milestone. So far, we've not had the reaction that the market had yesterday at the previous day value area high, which is why we've not bought the market like we could have done yesterday. Because if we had just mechanically bought at this level, we would now be deeply into a losing position. We've also got the overnight range low and the previous day's POC down here, which is where there was the most volume yesterday, which you can see over here on the left. So there could also be a buying reaction down there. Now, if we break lower than this, if we break down towards these 800 level, then you'd be looking at short opportunities, which would be some sort of breakout retest to the downside. But until we break below the overnight range, we're still a bit more biased to the long side than the short side, but not by much at this point. Okay, some buying coming in here at the bottom of the overnight range. We will see if it's actually sustained or not. I'll switch back over here in case this is the signal to go long. Market needs to break back into this area though, and then retest the value area high, because we're currently still sat within yesterday's value area. And when you've spent the entire Asian session above yesterday's high, and then the market sells back down below yesterday's high, it's not the sort of time you'd want to take a trade long. We want to be above yesterday's high, looking strong. So market just rejected here, which is definitely a sign of weakness for sure. We'll see if the market tries again down here, or if it's looking more likely to break lower now. So we're now right down at the bottom of the overnight range, right at the bottom. Another attempt here to push the market higher, right off the bottom of the overnight range. The sellers have now been winning for the last 20 minutes. Strong green candle there, but last time there was a strong green candle, it immediately got sold off. This is a good day to be patient. It's certainly not so this is certainly not like it was pre-Christmas. This is certainly not a dead morning. This is a very active morning. It's not a morning to make an early decision, because there's still no clear definitive winner between the buyers and the sellers. Yesterday it was very clear after about 5 minutes that the buyers were in charge, but today it's not been the same response. Until there's a clear winner, I really can't look for any trades. Because at the moment it would be just a coin toss as to whether the market's going to break out lower or whether the buyers are going to hold it up. Given that the sellers have now been in control for over 20 minutes, it seems more likely that we're going to break down lower. But there can just be a sudden influx of buying, which can completely reverse the market out of nowhere. So the second 15-minute candle is closing in 30 seconds. And it's like the first 15-minute candle, looking like it's going to close right near the lows, as you can see here. Within both those candles, there's been a real battle, but both times it's been won confidently by the sellers. You can see the level we're at on the higher time frame. We're right down. If we break down here, then there's no doubt we need to be looking for a short trade. So here we go. Can this 15-minute candle recover or not? This is really the sort of day where an old school run trade looks quite attractive, which is just selling short below the second 15-minute candle, or buying above the second 15-minute candle. Or trade a breakout retest short of this level. That's looking like our two options to the short side, unless the market can make a big recovery. Okay, I have taken a school run short. Stop loss going above the previous 15-minute candle. So this is a trade that I've not made for a while. But it ticks all the boxes and there's a very good track record. So we will see. We will see. Ultimately, if this trade fails, then we would look to trade to the long side. I'll be back in a moment. Oh, this is not looking great. Not looking great. Buyers literally came in about 3 seconds after I clicked sell. I did say it can happen instantaneously. Would have just been nice for it to have happened 2 seconds before I clicked sell, but that is part of it. So if we do get stopped out, which is looking almost certain now that we are going to get stopped out, then we would look for some sort of breakout retest to the long side. Okay. I'm just going to switch back over screens. So that was very, very strong from the buyers there. Very, very strong indeed. So now we just need to be patient. Just need to be nice and patient, wait and see what happens. I'm just going to go and make a drink. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, not a whole lot to say or do for now. Hindsight, I shouldn't have taken that trade. That was an impulsive decision to take that trade. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. What I should have done is wait for a breakout retest, which is what my rules state I should have done. And then you don't get caught on that sort of situation there where buyers just step in right below the low, because you wait for a clear breakout before a retest of this level, which obviously, if you've been watching these streams, you'll have seen me take many, many times, including yesterday, to good effect. The key is to just take those trades though, and nothing else. That's the skill. That's the discipline of it. So I think the two setups that we've got today is a break and hold above this value area high, or a complete breakdown on a breakout retest below here. And if neither materializes, then I will just finish there for the day with the account at break even, which is, certainly not the end of the world. And when I come back tomorrow and for the rest of the week, I will make sure not to repeat that same mistake of entering a trade too early. Because it's literally a matter of a handful of seconds and you don't enter it. And that's the problem with trading somewhat impulsively, even if you feel like you've got plenty of evidence to suggest you know where the market's going. Until you actually seen proof, it's nothing more than a hunch, no matter how good it looks. And the more times you get stung, the more you learn. And I certainly make those trades a hell of a lot less than I did 4 months ago, 6 months ago, or even just 2 months ago. So we've got a potential trade setting up here on a breakout retest. But this time we'll actually be patient and we will wait for the correct entry signal. There's a battle going on now to hold above the value area high and to hold above yesterday's high. And if the buyers were to win, then that would be our strong signal for a long position. But we need to see follow through. We've not got it though, so we are not going to be trading long. I'm going to give it a few minutes into 9 a.m. but it's looking quite quiet, and I don't want to sit here. If we can't get a breakout, it is worth waiting a bit longer, because we have come down and we have held yesterday's POC. Okay. Again, the market's trying. Okay, I am going to end the stream here, but I am going to have a break and then come back. I'm probably not going to stream when I come back. If I do end up making a trade, I will then update and go through it tomorrow morning. But I don't want to sit here for hours just doing nothing and saying nothing. So thank you. The account's currently at break even. So no harm done. Made a trade this morning that we shouldn't have. But we'll learn from that and we'll come back better tomorrow. So thank you, and I'll